Hi, everybody. So, I want to cover today one of the most common questions I get from clients, from people in workshops, from people that call into the podcast, which is I have all this awareness, I can analyze myself, I know why I am the way that I am, but things aren't changing. So, why do I have all this awareness? I've read so many self help books. I know my daddy issues, I know my mommy issues, like I know I have an inner critic, I know about self-love, I know all these things, but why am I not changing? Why am I not making the money? Why do I not know my purpose? Why can't I silence my inner critic? Why are my relationships ending? Why am I still stressed out? All right. So I'm going to break it down as best as I can because it's a big topic. And this is one of the things about the personal growth industry that frustrates me a little bit because I see that there's often these promises that if you just do this one thing, or if you just read this book, or you just know this thing, then you should change. And a lot of people that are that are personal growth junkies like myself, that do the reading and do all the things, sometimes feel like they're failing at personal growth because they know these things, but things still aren't changing. I wish awareness was enough. I wish it was because it would make it so much easier for all of us. I don't want to minimize awareness. Awareness is super important. It's super important to be aware that the fact that your dad wasn't around since you were 5 years old is one of the reasons you don't trust men and why you have some abandonment issues. It's super important to be able to connect those dots and be aware. But just the knowledge is not enough. It's not enough. Here's why. All of us at young ages adopt certain, what I like to call compensatory strategies and survival skills that have kept us feeling safe, validated, and loved. So let me give you an example from my life because sometimes examples really help. So one of the things that I've had to work on is being really, really hard on myself and overachieving. Like if I wasn't achieving, if I wasn't doing, if I wasn't meeting my expectations, then I wasn't enough. I had the awareness that a lot of that came from being teased when I was younger and thinking I wasn't enough and tried to prove myself. I had the awareness that having an inner critic is something that isn't great to have. I had the awareness that self-love was better. I had the awareness that it's important to say affirming things. But why wasn't I able to stop the doing? Why wasn't I able to love myself when I wasn't achieving? Why wasn't I able to silence the voice of the inner critic? It's because that overachieving and criticizing myself was tied to a survival pattern. I thought at a young age that in order to belong, in order to be liked, in order to be worth anything, which is a survival pattern, because in our modern day, when we're not worried about surviving in terms of food and shelter, most of us are blessed not to have those concerns. Some people obviously legitimately do, but if you're watching this right now on your phone, you're likely not one of those people. So your survival needs are more of belongingness and feeling safe and feeling loved. So since I had that wired to, if I don't achieve and if I'm not hard on myself and I don't push myself, I will not be loved, I will not belong. Can you see why it was so hard to just change it with awareness? In order for integration to happen, in order for actual transformation to happen, we have to go deep. We have to go back to that wounding, sometimes over and over and over again, and feel those feelings and cry those tears and be so compassionate with those younger parts of us. We can't just think, we have to feel. We have to go into experiential exercises where we're taking ourselves back to the time when those belief systems got wired. And like I said, have compassion and forgiveness for ourselves. And over time, our brain starts to form new patterns. So let's take my example again. If I have this basically a neural net, so let me just segue and explain what a neural net is. Repetitive thoughts create actual grooves in our brain so that when similar situations or anything triggering happens, we default to that groove in our brain, right? So whenever I was feeling not enough or like I didn't belong, my brain defaulted to being hard on myself and pushing myself harder, because I had the neural net in my brain that was, all right, well, I just need to do more and be more, okay? So part of integration is interrupting that pattern. Again, just knowing why we do it isn't enough. We have to catch it in the moment and go, whoa, there it is. There's that inner critic. There's that overachiever. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to have compassion for that part of me. And I'm going to ask, what do I need? We have to slow way down. That was part of how I really had integration when it came to self-love, self-acceptance, and being kinder to myself. First, I had to accept and love the overachiever and the inner critic. You're not going to silence your inner critic by criticizing it. You're just adding fuel to the fire. You're just in the criticism loop. So part of integration is that pattern interrupt, is catching it and going, whew, I know this is a survival strategy, so I'm going to be really gentle with myself. I'm not going to make myself wrong for this because this has worked for a really long time. I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to ask myself what I need. Now, I know on some level you may be getting all of this, and I know on some level you may have questions. Integration is my sweet spot. It's my passion. It's what I love I love helping people with. I love helping people get back to those emotional moments, that wounding that happened a long time ago, and teaching you how to free yourself from it. Because what I have found is integration work is tough. And doing it in a supportive community with exercises and processes in a safe environment really helps accelerate the process. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to repeat it again. When you notice one of those patterns is up that you're trying to change, be it your inner critic, your self-sabotager, the part of you that thinks you're worthless, the self-conscious part, the part of you that wants to eat every time that you feel triggered, I need you to stop making it wrong. Please stop making it wrong, because remember, whatever that behavior is that you want to change or that you don't like is connected to an old survival strategy that really thinks it's keeping you safe, keeping you alive, getting you love in some way. So you've got to stop making it wrong. Please stop making it wrong. That's one of the very first steps from awareness integration, is massive self-acceptance. And then catching it in the moment and going, there it is. I love and accept this part of me. What do I need? And then doing the deeper emotional work where you're going back to where a lot of these survival strategies got formed, and you're feeling the feelings with compassion and you're moving into forgiveness. That's how we start to change. That's how we start to heal. That's how we start to reprogram so many of those neural nets in our brain. So there's so much more I could say to this. Definitely listen to Over and On With It, my podcast, when I coach people live on the air. Go binge on episodes. You'll hear a lot of how I work with people on that. And then if you're a female, because my spring retreat's only for women, sorry gentlemen, but I do stuff for men too. If you're a female, I'll put the link in the comments. Definitely check out my spring retreat. It's christinhassler.com/spring-retreat. It's based on the work that changed my life. Come spend 3 days with me, really 2.5, and you will integrate and make so much progress. So again, christinhassler.com/spring-retreat. If you're frustrated with having so much awareness and things not changing, definitely come to this retreat. The early bird ends November 30th, okay? Just want to go back to a couple of the questions here. What are some books you'd recommend for spiritual growth? Definitely Expectation Hangover, my last one. If you're vibing with what I'm saying, that one. And what I've noticed is that I've had the most spiritual growth when I've really embraced my humanness. It's been in my most challenging emotional times when I felt really lonely or really ashamed or really sad or really scared, and I've allowed myself to go into that emotion, that I've often had my most spiritual experiences. So an Expectation Hangover will help you get there. So I just wanted to slide up to one more comment here. Someone says, I think mine is the opposite. By not achieving, I secured that same safety you achieved with achieving. Yeah, because by not achieving, the sense of safety we get is, I can't fail. If I don't put myself out there, if I don't do, then one, I'm not seen. So if I'm hiding, I'm safer. And two, I can't fail. We all have these little strategies. I'll do another video on all the little strategies we have. But I just wanted to encourage you, if you're getting frustrated because you have a lot of awareness, and things aren't changing. You're not flunking at personal development. There's just deeper work to do. Much love, everybody. Many blessings. See you next time.